Lift it up real quick. Open it. There you go.
Make sure I'm saying right.
There you go. This one in the middle.
Oh, okay, cool.
There you go. Awesome.
Cozy.
Yes.
One more in the corner. There you go. Give her a hand, y'all. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Y'all, we are back. Oh, I love it. Keep it going. Keep it going. Clap for Michelle. Thank y'all for tuning in. Back here again for past season 2. And we are so excited for our special guest today. I mean, let me fix my seat. I mean, we not only have one guest, we have 2. Okay. Y'all give it up for Michelle Mitchenor. We are so excited for you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So,
It's like a live audience. I feel like I'm on Teen Summit. I'm hyped.
It's a vibe.
I'm so hyped.
And we are here for you.
Thank you. Cool.
So a little birdie told me that you were born, or your story actually begins in Georgia.
Yeah. So often when people are like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Jersey," because that's where I spent the majority of my life.
Okay.
But my father was in the military, so I was born on a military base in Fort Benning, Georgia.
Shout out to military kids.
Yeah, shout out to military kids. Unfortunately, I'm like towards the baby end of my siblings, so I didn't get the fun like all over the world, a whole bunch of different military bases. So when I was about 3, I want to say, we moved to upstate New York. Then after that, we moved to Jersey, and that's where my dad retired. So from like elementary school through high school, I was in Jersey. So yeah.
And we are the youngest. We are
Yeah.
You know, we're younger.
Yeah.
We are the babies.
Yeah.
We're the youngest.
Yes.
You know.
It's all right though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They needed to practice with everybody else.
Exactly.
And
Get it together first.
It was beautiful. So I hear, what brings you into acting? Like into this journey? Because somebody told me like to have my steps in order. I know you're looking at this choreography. I didn't think this choreography through, but I heard that you used to be a professional dancer.
Who are you getting all your information from? Who's this somebody? This is a second somebody. No.
Somebody on my path.
Oh, yes, I like how you tie that in. So yeah, I honestly, my mom put me into like dance classes and all of that at a very young age, and so I just fell in love with the art. And then around like 4th grade, I started tapping. Actually, that was like my first like dance discipline that I was like really serious about. Okay. And then after that, it just carried over into everything else. I started doing all the other disciplines: ballet, modern, jazz, hip hop. And then by the time it was time for me to go to high school, I told my parents, like, I want to go to a performing arts high school. I want to be like Fame, you know, Debbie Allen. I'm obsessed with Debbie Allen. And so I did exactly that. So in being in a performing arts high school, you do have to study in all disciplines. So although I was a dance major there, you still had to study in theater and voice. So they pretty much were grooming us, and we're in Jersey, right? So we're right by the city. Pretty much grooming us to be on Broadway. So you gotta be a triple threat, you gotta be able to do everything. So that's just pretty much was my foundation and my stomping ground. And I went to undergrad as a dance major, which was super fun at Towson University. Shout out to TU. Okay. And then I just always knew that dance, for me, I just felt like I didn't want to be far into my 30s still dancing. But I felt like, well, my body is like in shape and ready for it the most now. So I kind of had this plan for myself, like, okay, you're going to dance professionally for a bit, and then you're going to transition into acting full time. And thankfully, that's exactly the way that my course went.
I love that.
Yeah.
So how did you write out your plan? I think you mentioned in a conversation
Yeah.
that you were around 14 when you knew this was the path you wanted to take.
When I decided to go to a performing arts school, I just knew that I was going to be in entertainment in all of the ways. Again, Debbie Allen is like one of my biggest like inspirations. I love her. Janet Jackson, J-Lo, like these just triple threat like force of women is what I saw, and that was like the goal for me. So that was just always the goal. So at 14, even being in school, being able to learn so much about the industry at an early age, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get the degree in dance just in case I want to maybe teach it in a like school or something. Yeah. But I really didn't want to, but I was like, I still wanted the collegiate experience as well.
Yeah.
And then before I graduated, actually, I booked my first professional dance job with Ashanti.
Wait a minute. So like, how did you get with Ashanti? Hold up.
No, it was I actually remember this story was insane because I needed to leave school early.
Okay.
So that was the first thing. Leave school early, get on a China bus. I don't know if anybody from the East Coast remember the China bus. It's like $1 China bus to get from wherever you're at to the city.
Did your mom know?
I mean, I was in undergrad, so it was like,
you
all right,
okay.
well, that's what you want to do.
Yep.
So I was like 19, let's say.
Okay.
And on my way there, it's storming, raining. It's like, and I get in an accident. So I get in an accident, you know, gotta call all the people you gotta call for the accident. I was okay, and then I was like, all right, well, I'm just hop on the China bus. So then I hopped on the China bus. I got there, the audition was over. The audition was over. I had a homegirl who was like, I'll just try to teach you like the steps on the side, but like the audition's over. Like I got there super late. This is from Baltimore to New York City. So I was like, all right, let me just try to like game on, like let's do it. And I still booked the job without being at the audition. The accident, hopping on the bus, and that was just the beginning to what I knew. What I know what works for me is I can always bet on myself. Whether
Absolutely.
I'm late, whether that like it don't seem like things are adding up the way that they should.
Yeah.
It's like I know I'm gonna bring the heat. I know I'm gonna bring the professionalism, and I've been preparing for this since I was such a young age. Like whatever you throw at me, I'm gonna just
I'm ready for the
yeah,
moment.
like let's go.
So walk us through, when you say you missed the audition, but you still were able to book the gig.
Yeah.
Was it over a course of days or?
I just got there, and the choreographer, she was already on the job. My friend, shout out to Crystal Henry. She was on the job, and obviously I got there late, and she was just like, well, come here, girl, let me just like teach you in the corner.
Okay.
And it might have been like the last of the final round of girls who were there, and I kind of just like just slid in, and it was only me and her on the job. They only picked 2 dancers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what?
I know. It was crazy.
What is that feeling like for your first gig when you walk in, like your first audition?
Yeah.
Or just auditions in general. When you walk in there, what's the setting? Is it like a line, how you see in movies of like people and they like trying to practice and prepare themselves? What does that look like?
Well, I have been auditioning since I was a little girl because I was doing like competitive dancing as well. So I was kind of just used to having to just show what you got, if you will.
Yeah.
So for me, at that time, being 19, going into that audition, I think I was just at this point, I had gone through so much to get there that it was just like, I'm just gonna get these steps. And that's all I was really focusing on. I just wanted to just show myself. I wasn't even focused on the job. It was like, at this point, I'm here.
Yeah.
I done got through all of this, like, so that one was a little unique. But yes, typically when it comes to specifically dance auditions, it is very much, you know, you got to sign in. If you have an agent, a lot of times it's just dancers that are within that agency. So you do have to sign in, have your headshot. There is a line to get in. Sometimes before they even see you dance, they'll just have you stand in a line and see if you are what they're looking for. So sometimes you might not even get to dance.
You don't even get to dance.
You don't
So
even get, they
line
just,
up and
yeah. And I mean, it may be different now, but when I was really in it, you know, sometimes it was like we want 1 black girl, 1 Spanish girl, 1 blonde, 1 redhead. Like they wanted to, like, I guess, diversify the type of background dancers that were with whatever said artist.
Right.
So then there was that. I'm sure some of it was a little body type. You know, now it's way more inclusive. Like I know Lizzo has like full figured women. Yep. That wasn't the case. It was like they wanted a specific type.
Yeah.
Honestly, so.
You mentioned agency, and sometimes they'll only pull dancers from a specific agency.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on agent versus manager in that space?
Well, for a dancer, I think an agency is great.
Okay.
For acting, my path. See what I did there?
I love it.
My path has been more successful with a manager and an attorney.
Oh, okay.
I haven't found an agency that has matched like their effort and their seriousness about my gift and my talent and their like hands-on ability.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, I don't understand or haven't like found the reason to give them 10% of what I'm making if they're not contributing like in a way that my manager and lawyer does.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so maybe it just depends on who you have as an agent, and I have yet to find that one, like I said, that matches my manager and attorney's energy.
Yeah.
And when I find that one, we will go down that
path.
Absolutely.
That is
yeah. So that's my thoughts on it.
So how'd you transition from dance to acting? What was that first opportunity? When did you know, like, it's time for something different?
Yeah, once I got here to LA, I just felt like, yeah, I am making other artists' dream. Like, I'm contributing to their dream, but what do I have to say? Like, what's my voice?
Yeah.
It's absolutely time to get more into my acting. And so I studied with, rest in peace, Dustin Felder. He was my acting coach out here in LA and a mentor and a big brother to me. So I took his class, and I just was, I feel like, brushing back up on my theater and acting skills because I was mostly in the dance realm, of course. And then I started on YouTube. I started on a show called Black Boots.
It's still there?
It's still there.
Tune in.
Yes.
Black Boots. I need that.
Yeah. Created by Gino Brooks, who's an incredible filmmaker, screenwriter, big brother of mine.
Yeah.
And that was like my stomping ground, and he actually saw me in an acting class, and that's how I got the job.
Wow.
Yeah.
So networking, y'all write that down for your past. Yeah. Sometimes while you're training for the opportunity is introduced to you.
Yeah.
So
and that's been my journey as well. So when it was time for me to get a dancing agent, the agency saw me at there used to be these things in New York where choreographers would like showcase dancers. Okay. And so being one of the dancers, this is free, you have to go to the rehearsals and all that. It's not like I'm getting paid for it, but an agent saw me there and wanted to sign me there. Okay. And then when it came to acting, that was another example of I was in the acting class, just showing my talent, working on my skill, trying to better myself, and someone then wanted to come on board there. Yeah. Same thing, honestly, with my manager. My manager saw me in the movie Chirac and like figured out how to find me and wanted to represent me. So I found success in like really being true to like my art and my artistry. Yep. I have yet to find success where I just went to like a networking event. Yeah. Like that never provided what I needed so far. Yeah.
So a few questions. Have rows.
Yeah.
When did you know it was time to move from New Jersey and go to California?
Oh, okay. So first, I went to undergrad in Baltimore. So I left Jersey for college. Okay. And then after college, I went back to Jersey City. I just felt like being in Jersey City, working out in New York, that's concrete jungle. Like I just felt like I had to get the
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to just get that training. I had to just be with, I feel like, the beast of all beasts. Yeah. And then when it was time to fully put more emphasis on my acting, I was like, let me head to LA. I already have an agency here in New York for dance. Okay. The same agency has a home here in LA, so I know I can still like make money for myself as a dancer, but let me hit these acting classes because like ultimately that's where I want to go. Yeah. And for me, it was once I started working with Spike Lee, like that's when it was like, all right, I think it's time for me. I can stop dancing now. Yeah. So I was a young woman and I needed to take care of myself also. So I just was trying to juggle both. I was dancing and then I was working at a bar fitness studio. Like I think I did the 5 a.m. to whatever 1 p.m. shift. Okay. Just trying to, make it all work. But it was just always in the plan ever since 14. It was just like, okay, I'll know when I'm supposed to know. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like you did the research, right? Because you looked at your existing representation or agency to say, hey, this is where, or a company that you were with.
Agency, yeah.
This is where they are also located by Coastal. Yeah. And so it makes sense to start reaching out or having those existing relationships and leveraging that when you come out here.
So it wasn't fully blindly. I had at least something set up in that for dance. Anyway. Yeah.
So what's in the how, if you could give like 5 steps, right? So now we are in LA, you're taking acting classes. Your acting class leads to your first opportunity in the acting space, which is Chirac.
Black Boots on YouTube. I always say that's my first, even though it wasn't, paid when I initially did it, like that was the best thing that could have happened to my career.
Yeah. Would you say running your own production or your own show, what skills did you like develop from doing that carried over into you being on set? like as an actress?
Got you. Well, before Black Boots, I didn't run my own production. I was just thinking about being an actress, honestly.
Yeah.
And Black Boots was an independent show ran and directed by Gino Brooks and his partner Lamont. And I just was inspired. Like we were just guerrilla shooting. Like we were just like, is this legal to say? I don't know. I don't know. Like, we was up on USC like, yeah, this is our campus. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just felt it was just beautiful to see, you know what I'm saying? And it just was a reminder of like, there's no cap, like there's no limit. Yeah. If there's something that you want to get done, you could do it. So that's why I say that part of my journey is so important to me. And then it was like, I got to learn what camera A and B and C and all this setups. I got to learn that in this space where it wasn't under the pressure of you're with whatever big studio or whatever big network where they're easily replacing you if you don't know what you're doing. And I've seen it happen. They're replacing people at table reads. I've seen that happen. Yeah. So it was just really nice to just have, like now I'm looking back in hindsight, I didn't know that at the time. I was in it as if it was, because it was my biggest thing. So I'm like, yo, I'm treating it as such, but now looking back, like the preparation that it prepared me for, like I'm so grateful for it.
Absolutely. In this space, as an actress, oftentimes we may experience rejection or a no for a gig that we really want. If you could look at the camera and give a piece of advice to somebody who has just experienced, you know, a turn down from an opportunity, what would it be?
You said the camera?
Yep, the camera.
If it's for you, ain't gonna pass you.
Yeah.
And I know that's like cliche, right? But I mean, that's for real.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm now at this point in my career, I'm in this space where I'm a working actress, but as of yet, I don't feel like I'm like most recognizable or like, you know what I mean? And a lot of this is a business. So the names are what sells the streaming and what sells the tickets at the movie theater. So now that I'm in a space where a lot of times I'm up against jobs, against like incredible actresses like a Megan Good, you know what I mean? It's like, why she's put so much in the game, like why wouldn't this be her job, like essentially, you know what I'm saying? But if she's on that job, then that means another job opened up for Michelle Mitchenor, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just trust, I have never gotten a job yet that the timing wasn't perfect, that that just has yet to happen. So yeah, if it's for you, it ain't gonna pass you.
Ain't gonna pass.
Yeah.
How do you have fun? What does fun look like for you?
Oh my God, I'm a
outside of
ball of
work, because we know what you do. Like, who are you? Like outside of that?
Anyone who knows me, I'm a ball of fun.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of the roles I play are like lawyer, detective, you know, all of that. But I'm a super just ball of energy, ball of fun. I just love life. I love the people in my life. Anything could be fun. This is fun to me. Like, I'm having a ball. Yeah, like I just feel like you know, I feel like light just follows me. So, you know, I'll be having fun where I'm at.
So wait, I want to know, what was it like walking on set and Jill Scott is there?
It was like walking on any other set. Yeah.
So it was no intensity, no like nerves, because I know people here in the crowd are probably like nervous because they're like, oh my God, Michelle Mitchenor is in front of me, like, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, again, it goes back to like my journey.
Yeah.
You figure like I've got to work with incredible artists like Beyonce, CeeLo, Alicia Keys. Like I have been really fortunate. Yeah. My other show, Lethal Weapons with Damon Wayans. Like I feel like God puts me in places with legends because like that's gonna be my journey, my path. Yeah. And so when I'm in a room with someone who's like accomplished so much, I see it as an opportunity to learn, not be scared. Like I'm like, yeah. Like when I booked, when I worked with Spike Lee, that was probably like when I first walked into that table read. It was like I felt my heart being like, you know what I mean. But then I was like, no, you gotta cut that because this is another human being, this is another artist, and not for anything, he hoping I do a good job so that he don't have to worry about anything else. Yeah. And the first words that I had to him was like, "Oh, what's up?"
And what did he say?
Right. He looked at me because he didn't know me yet, so he looked at me and he was just like, We just did one of those. And then like as we started working together, I would just be like, oh, what's up? I'm like, I'm gonna get you to talk. Like I just started being myself. Like so I take it as an opportunity to learn. Like Jill Scott is definitely someone that of course we've all listened to, love her music, all of that. I like, let's go. Like, let's do this. Like, I'm honored to share the space. Of course, I'm watching to see, you know, if there's anything that I can take away, you know, and add to who I am as a person and as an individual. But ultimately, I am there to do a job. I can't be too worried about Jill Scott. I gotta be worried about my lines.
Absolutely.
And on First Wives Club in particular, I'm coming in as another lead. So our characters are kind of, you know, there's an equal storyline between us characters, so I can't get so caught up in her stardom that it knocks me off. It's just a pleasure to work with people who are just good people, who are beautiful inside and out. But yeah, it wasn't like a
so they should kill all nerves when they walk into the space. What I hear you saying is it is their moment, but it's just as much your moment as well.
Absolutely. Like, you're in that room for a reason.
Yeah.
You're not in there to just be a fan.
Yeah.
You're in there because you have a job to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of first and foremost. Taking it back again to Spike Lee, then when we did Chirac, that was really, the first table read was like a huge eye-opener for me because I have Wesley Snipes here, I have Angela Bassett here. It was just so many different people that, of course, I'm like, wow, these are giants, these are juggernauts in the industry. And when I tell you they was going in on their job, and it was just a table read. So
For people who don't know what a table read is.
Sure, a table read is pretty much where you are at a table and you read the script. And you read it from each character, each person playing whichever character is reading the script. So you're not on set, you're not doing any action, you're just reading. And it was just a master class for me in how to show up for your job. Like, you could tell that they had already studied the script, which I did. You know, I read the script and all of that, but I feel like they had already made really unique choices. You could tell that they were still playing around. So when the nerves are there, it was like, ooh, I gotta do my job because I'm trying to hang here. I'm trying to hang here and learn what I can from these people. So I say that if you are in a position where you're on a job with someone who may have more credits than you or has, you know, created a legendary force for themselves, just think of it as an opportunity to learn versus an opportunity to just solely be a fan and do your job.
Yeah. What's 3 things that you use to prepare for roles?
Reading the script.
Okay.
Then breaking down the script.
Okay.
And then making sure I am like well rested, well nourished. Like, all of that is intact. Yeah.
I think it's important that we go to the audience for some questions. Because nobody should be nervous here. Look, she done set the tone for y'all.
Yeah.
We have a question right here. Or what's right here? Right here.
Hi, how you doing?
Wait. What's your name?
Andre. Oh, sorry. How important is it for you to have the right people in your circle to keep you going and keep that positive energy around you while you're continuing to chase your dream and pursue your goals?
Yeah, if I would say that's probably the second most important thing for me. One is just my spiritual alignment, and then 2 is just my tribe. It's been pivotal in moments where I have questioned myself, like, you think I could do? Or when you're just in your think tank, you know, you need people who are like just as, if not more sometimes, ambitious as you are. And then also having people who are further along in certain areas who can teach you and pour into you. So it's like, it's like number 2. Yeah. Thank you, Andre.
What qualities does a mentor have to have for you?
A mentor?
Mm-hmm.
What qualities does a mentor have to have? Being a real one.
Okay.
Because I'm a real one. So, real, recognize real.
Yeah.
And 2, I think just having, again, just being a little further along in areas that I'm just not as privy to.
Yeah.
And who can show me some of the pitfalls and things like that they've been able to either like avoid or that they've succumbed to, and now they're trying to help me avoid myself. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think we had another question in the audience.
How you doing? Rayvon Miles.
I'm sorry?
Rayvon Miles. Nice to
Rayvon.
meet you. So, what are 3 artists that influence you as an actress, but also as a person as well?
3 artists.
Yeah, like actresses, just artists. 'Cause I know you're a dancer as well, so like wanted to have it as a broad spectrum.
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. So Viola Davis, I read her book this summer. So that was, I already was a fan, but I feel like reading her book and understanding her journey, there were some things that paralleled, not as much, because she definitely, I don't know if any of you read her book, but
Finding Me, it was great.
yeah, I didn't have a similar childhood by any stretch, but just knowing her as a woman, that was really beautiful to see. So I definitely would say Viola Davis. And then J-Lo, you know, she comes from being a fly girl, a dancer, to where she is now. I love how she is just as a mogul. I like that mogul idea. It's the skin, it's the fragrance, it's the acting, it's the dancing, it's the TV, it's the film, it's the, you know, I just love that mogul mentality. I think it's really incredible. And then for a third artist, I would have to say Shonda Rhimes. I love her thinking. I love how she's written for a lot of characters on TV. I love how she's a game changer. And I'm sorry I have to add one more in front of all of them, which is Debbie Allen, because Debbie Allen is life, so there's that. Yeah. So I gave you 4. Thank you.
I think we got one more.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Theory. I just wanted to know, like, what was some of the greatest advice you've ever gotten from like a legend or someone you admire?
Yeah, I've gotten so much, but one that comes to mind, I was thinking about Jill Scott, because, you know, again, she's obviously Jill Scott. So I'm like, how do you handle like people in your face a lot, or when you're like out at the store, if we go out somewhere and someone, you know, and she was like, I just talk to them. Like, if someone's like staring at me, I just be like, hi, how are you? You know, like she just made it so like you don't have to create this like weirdness thing, you know what I mean? Like just like, what's up? Like, you know, so I thought that was just like really like a unique perspective that she had. And then another actor, you guys remember he was on Living Single? He was a light-skinned dude, Mel Jackson, I believe his name is. Yeah, he always was telling me when I was in Chicago, like, don't wait, create. Like, don't wait, create. Don't wait, create. So he was
quotable.
Yeah, is that? Yeah, he was always talking about like creating your own opportunities. Same thing with Damon Wayans. He would be like on set, like, did you start writing a script yet? Did you take a writing class yet? Did you know what I mean? Because, you know, ownership is everything, IP is everything, and so it took me a while, but that's the space I'm in now. Yeah.
Absolutely. Got another question? We so excited for your question. We got to run the mic to you.
We don't forget it. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Simone. Can you talk about any internal challenges and external challenges that you faced on your journey and how you got over them?
Yeah. I would say internal, but probably more so as a dancer, because it was so like your physical appearance. You know, being a black girl is like, you know, I got black girl stuff going on here. So, you know? So I would definitely say that. And then, you know, certain comments, maybe certain choreographers and, you know, in my journey up, you know, definitely had me warped a little bit on how I should look, particularly as a dancer. So I would definitely say that would be, it never got to a point where it was like detrimental, because then I'd just be like, I really want this cookie. But, I you know, like, hey, I don't look that bad, you know, and then she told me. But I mean, it still was like, that's still something that's going into your orbit, you know? So I definitely had to work through that a bit, for sure. And external, I think it's always just navigating, you know, we're in a space now where we see so many wins of so many people. So it is kind of like trusting your journey, trusting your path, you know, trusting that the timing is right for you and the things are right for you, because now you just go on deadline and you see, oh, that's the role I auditioned for and such got it, or you know what I mean? And having to just have to just be so focused on what's for you and like trusting what's for you. But it's like we're human, right? So it's like, dang, like, all right, ooh, I'm glad you got that one, sis. You know, and then as you grow, you thinking about your family. It becomes more than just your dream ambition. It's like, I need to make an X amount of money to make sure I have health insurance for the next year. You know what I mean? For me and these babies. So, you know, then those are some of the like external challenges, and then you're getting into accountants, making sure people are doing their job properly. So you got to learn a lot about your finances and what you can write off, what you can't. So then that's a learning curve, which is very, very important. And yeah, so it's just like as you grow, you have more that you have to learn about, research about, read about. So that can be challenging when you just want to be an artist. But yeah, you're welcome.
Speaking of benefits and family, we have to notice the other person in the room.
Where's the other person?
They're currently in growth. They're en route. They're on their path.
Yeah, they're on their path.
Please tell us about what it's like being a mom,
Yeah.
and as well as an actress.
Yeah.
So how do you balance the two? What is that journey like?
You know, for me, it's been unique because my first daughter, Noir, my baby girl, she was actually born during the pandemic. We conceived before we all got shut down, but she was born during the pandemic. So I didn't really have any, you know what I mean? Everybody was shut down. Everybody was shut down and everybody was auditioning. So everything was like from here up,
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
World stop.
Yeah. So that actually didn't affect me at all. However, when she was only a couple of months old, I did book First Wives Clubs. And First Wives Club doesn't shoot in Los Angeles where I live. It shoots in Atlanta. So that was my first time having to be like, okay, so I got this little baby. I got to get on a plane. We're in the middle of a pandemic. But we got to make this money. Because the union had changed their health care rules or whatever, where it was like now you had to make, you know, even more than what it was the minimum previously because of COVID. So now it's becoming more than just like, oh, I want a job because I want it. Now it's like, we need health insurance. Like, you know, we got to get this. So it definitely wasn't a question of if I was going to take the job or not, because I wanted it, really. I wanted it, but it was just having to be like, okay, I have to travel with her and then have my mom come with me and then my husband, he was doing something else. And it was just like navigating my home life so that I could show up on set. When I was on set, I had to like breast pump in between scenes because my baby needed milk at home. So it was just like, okay, but I just found that like, okay, like you said, pivot. Yeah. Isn't that like a path thing? Pivot.
Yep. Yeah. Pivot moment in the path. Pivotal path.
Pivotal path. Yeah. So it was like, all right, I guess if I'm going to be in this trailer, I'm going to be pumping and then reading my scripts. Yep. And it was just like putting things in order so that I could still show up the best way I could. Yeah. You know, having to find childcare. You know, mama, can you help? Baby.
I had relationships with that family.
Yeah. So yeah.
Was the set and the cast like very receptive to, you know, you going through that process as a new mother and as a working actress? We getting deep.
I feel like, okay, so me coming into the show, you know, it was a little tricky because I was kind of being added in as another lead, and they already had a tight bond in their first season. So it was a little like, I mean, you cool, but you ain't us. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit of like having to show that I belong there in a way. You know what I mean? I knew I belonged there, and I didn't question that, of course. But, you know, sometimes if you're coming into a show and they already have like a rhythm or whatever going, not everyone is as like, oh, okay, just stroll on in here, you know what I mean? It's just like we got to get to know you, got to warm up to you. So I think it was definitely that happened, which is cool, because then again, once people know, you know, who I am and my light, it's like, oh, okay, she's just here to do her job. really.
Right.
But I will say that all of the other women are mothers, so sometimes they would advocate for me and be like, all right, she needs a pump. Like, this is taking too long, so that was really cool.
Oh, that is super dope.
Yeah, it was.
To have that community
Yeah.
on stage. Yay.
Everyone there, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was cool.
I like that, women working with women.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So in that, I want to make sure we wrap. If there's one thing you could say to your younger self, and you could say it to the camera, if there's, like, they just experienced that moment where they are really just, the rubber meets the road, right? They've written this vision out for themselves at 14. What is that first, like, step? Like, you just want to motivate them to take that first step.
So for someone else, like a younger,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm answering your
Well,
question
younger
correctly.
you wouldn't work because you already knew and had defined the path and was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So you probably would tell your younger self, like,
Like, let's go.
Go ahead. You're right.
That's
That was
facts,
definitely right.
yeah.
So somebody who doesn't have that vision as clear,
Yeah.
what would you say to them?
That's a really good question.
Yeah. They're not in Jersey. They might be in Utah.
Right. Yeah.
They don't have the proximity to the resources. They don't know about the class. Like,
Yeah. Definitely researching and doing as much research as possible.
yeah.
But I have found that if you really desire something,
Yeah.
and if it's like supposed to be a part of your life and your journey, your life will put you in a position where you have no choice but to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but yes, I knew that, like, oh, I want to do all these things at 14, but of course I had no idea about money and, like, taking care of yourself, and it would just, things would fall in line. Like, even before I got to LA, it was like I got fired from whatever job I was working at, so it was like, all right, well, I mean, what would we stay here for? Like, you know, things will align in such a way where it's like, okay, it's time for me to jump. It's almost like when people don't know when to leave a relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They like calling you about the relationship or whatever. You're like,
Who knows
okay,
how to
girl.
break up these
Like,
days?
okay, girl, you know. But eventually, there's a straw that breaks the camel's back, and you're like, you know what? I'm out. You know what? I'm gonna go to LA. You know what? I'm gonna go to New York. So I find that yes, do the research, prepare yourself as best as you can, but like also trust that there's gonna be something that is whether it's, you just have to be so aware, keep your eyes and your ears open to what's around you, because something's going to pull you towards where you need to go. And if you don't, I feel like maybe you didn't want it that much, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what I think people want right now? Some applause. This is great.
I was like, what? I didn't know where you were going with that.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us and gracing our stage, our set stage.
Yeah, it's great.
With your light, I mean, you were completely yourself. And I think that's hard to find in this industry. So I think everybody in the audience definitely appreciated how you stay committed to like your vibe, your light. Like, yeah, y'all, I already knew I was gonna be great. So I hope everybody.
I mean, sometimes it ain't the long sob story. It's I've been about this. Like, let's go, let's go. You know what I mean? And I hope that like I want to give that exchange to y'all too.
Yeah.
Don't be so scary about the stuff you want to do. Don't be so scary.
Yeah.
Like, just you gotta go for it, because pandemics are happening, viruses. Like, it's just too much happening for you to just be like being scary.
Yeah. Don't be scary.
Don't be
Tune in next episode on Past Season 2.
Aphrodite, then discuss, her rapper messy colors. Never become business. I love Aphrodite, then discuss, her rapper messy colors. Never become business. I love it when you couscous, love it when you couscous, love it when you couscous, couscous. Cause